Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Global Game Changers Summit. My name is Kendall, and this is James, and we're here to talk about Princeton E-Club, which is the club that we are both co-presidents of. Founded in 1999, E-Club is Princeton's premier entrepreneurship club. We are entirely student-run, and we're, in fact, the largest student organization on Princeton's campus. We have over 600 active members, 15 sub-teams, and a $500,000 annual operating budget.
Yeah, and to fit the theme of this track, we'll share more about us, how our club is structured, the environment, the ecosystem that we're in, our club's programming, so what do we offer, our challenges that we find that we face each and every year, and then we'll wrap up with our goals for the year. And yeah, so we'll give a quick brief introduction. Hi, I'm James Zhang. I'm a junior at Princeton University studying computer science.
And my name is Kendall. I'm also a junior. I'm in the economics department, and I'm pursuing a minor in computer science. So we wanted to start off by sharing our own entrepreneurial journeys, specifically with eClub. For me personally, in high school, I'd heard of entrepreneurship as a buzzword, but I didn't really know what it meant. I just knew that I was definitely interested. And in high school, I also was really involved in visual arts and knew that I wanted to pursue more of a creative career, but I didn't know exactly how to merge that with entrepreneurship. So eClub's recruitment season. I heard about Design Team, which is one of our amazing sub-teams, and decided that I wanted to join as a member since it exactly merged entrepreneurship with visual arts. The next year, I ended up becoming the Design Team director, and then I've sort of climbed the totem pole to co-president now. And I think that my story is just proof that the multiplicity of eClub sub-teams shows how many different avenues there are to exploring and getting involved in entrepreneurship. So that's really one of the tenets that we encourage at eClub. Our mission is to foster student entrepreneurship through inclusivity of different skill sets, mindsets, backgrounds, and experiences. We really believe that any interest you have can be merged with entrepreneurship within our club.
Yeah, and I had a pretty much similar experience in high school. Entering college, entrepreneurship was like really a mere term in a textbook. And so I was engaged with a couple of nonprofits throughout my high school career. And I guess like entrepreneurship sounded very interesting. Startups, it was a different type of world. And so I read about it, didn't know what the term really meant. So I pretty much joined eClub as a general member freshman year. So I really liked the ability that I could engage with how much I wanted to and how little, and I wouldn't really be penalized on how much engagement level I showed. So yeah, freshman year, a good portion was general membership. So the pictures on the left pretty much representative of what I basically did, attending lots of social events, networking with others who were interested in entrepreneurship and kind of like really wanted to learn more about the space, and then also hearing from a lot of wonderful guest speakers. The second semester of my freshman year, I decided that I want to get more involved with the planning side of entrepreneurship. And so I was part of the Princeton Pitch Committee here on campus. Princeton Pitch is one of our flagship programs that we run every year. Basically, a pitch competition for Princeton founders, and it's exclusive for Princeton startups. Yeah, and so sophomore year, I wanted to get more and more involved. So I was the gear and social chair for our executive board here on eClub. And then this year, I'm the co-president with Kendall. And yeah, so far, eClub has been a tremendous experience. I've learned a lot about entrepreneurship and have made many, many friends along the way. And it's been really, really great. Yeah, and so I'll dive in and talk about more of our club structure. And it's a little bit complicated, but hopefully this diagram is very good at explaining what's going on here. Think of our club as an umbrella. So we have Princeton Club is the big whole organization. We have our own executive board for general club logistics. And under us, we have 14 different sub teams that basically focus on different entrepreneurial pursuits. And they have their own leadership, directors, organizing their own events. And so we, as Princeton Club, are everyone. I'll give 3 examples to kind of talk about exactly what each sub team kind of like does, share a little bit of insight there. So on the bottom right, you can kind of see SVTT. SVTT is short for Silicon Valley Tiger Trek. So they basically organize an annual trip to Silicon Valley to really engage with entrepreneurs and companies in person. Tiger Launch, a little bit above there. is the largest student-run pitch competition in the world and features competition teams across the world actually. So it's been really fun seeing them what they do every single year. And then on the left side here, we have Forge. Forge is a newly created sub team, I believe last year, and it's our venture studio where students really get the chance to get their hands dirty and work on a startup. And yeah, so one of the biggest questions is you might ask, because our club's so big, how might one get involved, right? As a freshman, I'm joining college. I want to join clubs. I want to get involved with the community. How can I basically work with Princeton E Club? So there are two general paths here. The number one is general membership. You might have seen that above in the graphic from the previous slide. General membership is basically guided by the rationale that anyone who wants to be involved with their club can choose their own engagement level. So that's basically what I did my freshman year. I wasn't sure if I really wanted to do entrepreneurship. So this is a great way where we basically forward a lot of opportunities like guest speakers, dinners. We'll forward this to our general membership. And so they get to choose whether they want to engage, which ones they want to go to. The second one is a little bit more involved, which is sub teams. You'll be directly on a team, sub team. You'll be planning, you'll be working alongside your fellow teammates and making sure that the programming is done right. Or if you're on Forge, you're working on a startup and you're making sure your startup does well.
Yeah, so we wanted to provide some visuals of the amazing programming that our club creates for Princeton students on campus. We have a wide variety of different ways to get involved and engage with entrepreneurship. Like James mentioned, we host everything from guest speaker events, roundtable dinners, to hackathons, pitch competitions, and we even do put on these domestic and international trips for students to get to meet leaders in their respective industries. So just looking at some of these photos, the middle one with the black outline is our Princeton Women in Entrepreneurship sub-team. The one on the right is Hack Princeton. They put on biannual global hackathons. And then the one on the bottom left is our Olympta sub-team that works directly with the Office of Technology Licensing in Princeton to spin out science discoveries spanning biotech, therapeutics, metal technologies, and other subfields pertinent to researchers. And some more photos to highlight. The top left is the Tech Trailblazers conference that happened last year. And this was an incredible moment for eClub because we were really able to expand our outreach and collaborate with other universities' entrepreneurship clubs. And then just some other photos of treks, hackathons, and the bottom left is a photo of a dinner that our leadership team had, just really strengthening our community and working together.
Yeah. So now I'll kind of talk about more on how we're situated in our environment and how our club kind of operates in our ecosystem. The biggest, the biggest thing that we have to do every year is to recognize that we're not the only player in our ecosystem. There are other factors, other components, other players that are working with entrepreneurship, and we're not the only club, not the only initiative. So the vision that we have is that we want to work together and not against each other. It's really not a competition, and we really do better if we're working together. So some examples I'll share here. On the bottom left, you can see the Princeton Entrepreneurship Council. So they engage mostly with our alumni. So we'll work a lot with them to engage with alumni, bring them back to campus as guest speakers, and kind of collaborate with events. On the right side, we have Keller Center, which is Princeton's entrepreneurial center. And so they're more integrated in the school. So they offer classes. They're kind of in charge of all those administrative work. So we work a lot with them, kind of consult with them, talk about what students want. And so you can think of Princeton E-Club as an extracurricular, obviously, because we're a student club. Another one is the computer science department. You kind of see on the left here, computer science department, because a lot of our initiatives are CS aligned. We get lots of funding from the computer science department. And also we want to make sure that we do work with a lot of our CS professors because they're at the forefront of innovation and research. And then last but not least, we'll talk about Prospect Student Ventures, which is actually another student club here on campus. They're more focused on the VC side of entrepreneurship. But so because we want to expand our reach across the university, we also work with them to collaborate with events and getting guest speakers onto campus. Yeah. And so with that, I'll also talk about our common obstacles and challenges that we face every single year. Probably the biggest one for any club actually is funding, right? How do we get enough money each and every year to get our initiatives going? How do we get our money so that we can actually worry about the planning and also the actual work that we want to do? And so a lot of it is just whether we're finding new avenues of money and then also maintaining what we already have, the sources that we have, getting those relationships, making sure that we let them know what we've done in the previous year so that they are really receptive and giving us more money for upcoming years. The second one is also more theoretical, but also very, very important. I described it as identity because our ecosystem, our environment continues to change each and every year. And so one of the biggest questions that we always have to ask ourselves is what does our club represent and seek to do in our ecosystem? This is very important so that you really don't get lost. You really make sure that you have a mission, you have a goal as a whole club because our club is really big. It's kind of easy to get lost in the weeds. And so it's good to think big picture. Our third common, I guess, obstacle is discipline. Because our club is year round, right when we get on campus, September, and right when we leave in May, our club is running from basically all those months. And so one of the challenges we got to face is how do we really keep our members motivated? How do we have everyone excited each and every day to really work with us? So we got to find ways to kind of resolve this issue. And also, one of the biggest challenges with discipline is making sure that we stay organized, make sure that our files, everything is in an organized manner. And yeah, this is probably one of the biggest, also crucial common obstacles that we face.
Yeah, so given those challenges that eClub faces each and every year, James and I have created 4 yearly goals for us to hopefully address those challenges. So the first one is our corporate contacts program. We're looking to strengthen our relationships with stakeholders and potential corporate sponsorships. In general, this means bolstering our partnerships and outreach team, which is a part of our leadership team. And second, we're trying to enhance sub-team quality. So we want to make sure that our members really have a truly meaningful experience while they're here at eClub, and really feel passionate about entrepreneurship after they leave the year of programming. So this really falls more into management skills that me and James are trying to impart to directors and also lead by example with. Third, pivoting to the general membership track, is we also want to rebrand that general member image and make sure that those general members have plenty of opportunities to engage and connect with one another. Something that we implemented last year that's worked really well is called an EPUB, and this is a social gathering for students to come and connect and discuss entrepreneurship in a informal setting that's a lot lower stakes than some of the other sub-team programming going on. And then we also want to maintain past programming, so basically just do what worked well last year. And so something that we've maintained this year is our internal operations and a lot of the methodology that we use in organizing, as James mentioned on the past slide. Yeah, so as we begin our programming this year, James and I just wanted to acknowledge that eClub and really any organization is inherently what our members and our officers make out of it. So in order to accomplish the goals that we've set up for ourselves, we've compiled a team of incredibly motivated and disciplined self-starters that make up our 2023 to 24 leadership team.
Yeah, and really here's a shout out to everyone who's leading eClub this year. And Kendall and I are really, really excited and grateful to be having the opportunity to be working with each and one of these amazing individuals and making our club the best it can be this year.
So that wraps up our presentation. We want to thank you all again so much for coming to listen, and also thank Global Game Changers Summit 2023 for giving us the opportunity to speak today at their summit. If you want to learn more or get connected, we've listed all of our contact information here. But otherwise, thank you all so much.
Yeah, thank you so much.